Hey everyone, this is Stephen Strawn at the Cast Iron Cookware channel, where you can find information to help you better collect, restore, and use cast iron cookware. Today I'm going to be restoring these 6 number 3 cast iron skillets, and we're going to be doing that coming right up. Okay, let's get started with restoring our 6 number 3 cast iron skillets. Okay, what we have is we have a 3-notch lodge. A little bit rusty. I'm not sure yet if it's going to be a newer model, SK or unmarked. We have a Made in USA SK 3-notch lodge. It's vintage, but still a little bit newer. We have a 3-notch lodge unmarked. A 3-notch lodge SK. Doesn't have Made in USA, a little bit older. A Made in USA Century Series Birmingham Stove and Range. Another looks like it may be a Birmingham Stove and Range, but it's hard to tell. Even the ridge is corroded where you can't even see the ridge if it is a Birmingham Stove and Range, which I think it probably is. So we're gonna put these in the electrolysis tank all at one time. So let's get to that. Okay, I'm out here in my shop and I built this little jig, and I've got these 6 little hooks on the bottom, and I have the wire twisted around at the top so that I can hook my lead to it. My plan is to hook each one of these skillets on one of these hooks. Okay, I've got them in my electrolysis tank where they'll all hang. And I'm gonna hook my lead onto my wire. And turn her on. I went ahead and set my charger for 135 minutes, the maximum, without putting it on hold. After 135 minutes, I'm gonna shut the machine off. Of course, it'll probably be already shut off by itself. Take the skillets off, wipe them down, spin them around, and then put them back in for another 135 minutes. And just see how clean they are. If they still like a little bit, we'll run the cycle again. Okay, we're going to go ahead and take them out for the first time. We got it cut off. And they kind of need to be wiped down just a little bit. So we're going to take them all off. We're going to wipe them down. Some look a little better than others. Some are still a little bit cruddy. We wipe off all the residue. Kind of see where it can be wiped off. Because it'll clean up a lot easier if all this loose stuff is rubbed off, wiped off. It's starting to look pretty good. Still like a little work on the inside. That's one. See, some of this crud is going to come right out, see? As long as this is on there, it's going to prevent the electrolysis to work as good as it needs to. See, we're starting to look pretty good. Still got a little bit of roughness. Still got a little bit of stuff caked on it here and there. Here's one that was kind of rusty. Well, this is not clean work. This is not the kind of thing that you'll want to do in your house. I'm out here in my shop right now, and I've got like a little scrubby. This piece has got a good bit of rust on it, but it's going to come off. Here's another piece that's pretty cruddy, starting to come off of my hands. This is going to take a little more than some. This one here would be a candidate for the lye tank first. A lot of times I'll take one that's really cruddy, like this one right here. I'll put it in the lye tank. I'll put it in the lye tank for a few weeks. This near is almost clean. Here's another one that's some made in USA, Century Series, Birmingham Stove and Range. We'll put them back in and turn them back on, and we're ready to go again for another cycle. Okay, we're going to check our number 3s again. Take a look, see. Probably need to make myself a handle. Should make a lot of difference here. Take a look, see how they're doing. We'll wipe them down again. Might be able to take a few of them out. We'll take a look, see how they look. The fewer you have, the better it is on the ones that are left in there. Yeah, this one's cruddy. It's going to be a while on this one here. This might need some time in there by itself. Yeah, that one's going to need some alone time in there. It's still pretty cruddy. The one that was a little bit rusty, it's going to be pitted a little bit. Still got some crud. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit pitted, but that's okay. All of them's going to need a little more time in there. This one here is almost ready to wash. You want to take them out and wipe them off periodically, because it'll help the electrolysis work a little better without the loose crud being in the way. And this here is almost ready to be washed. Got a little bit of crud still down in the inside. This would go a lot quicker if I done them individually, but if I done them individually, it would take 6 different runs. So In some ways it's going faster. So we're going to hang them back. I'm going to hang them with the surface facing the edges this time. Number 3 skillet wind chime. Okay, just fire it up. Put them on another cycle. Okay, they're at varying degrees of being done. This one here is almost done. It could use a little bit more. This little unmarked lodge. This one here almost done as well. It kind of gets a little worse as it goes. This one needs a little bit more time in the E-tank. Also, this one here was quite badly pitted, but I'm going to go ahead and finish it up anyway. It's a Birmingham stove and range. This needs to go back in there for just a little bit. And the worst one, for some reason, just hasn't done very well at all. And I'm going to go ahead and put it back in there first by itself. This Birmingham stove and range. Looks like it's a Red Mountain. It's kind of hard to tell. It's still kind of cruddy. But I'm going to put it in there by itself and see if we can't get it cleaned up first. Then we'll take care of all of them a little bit at a time. And then we'll take care of the rest of them and get them all seasoned up. This thing here has seen a lot of action. Basically, it's just a little piece of all thread with some nuts on the top and one on the bottom to kind of secure it. I'm basically just gonna hang it on there like that. You can use a nut and some washers to make it a little bit tighter, but I found this here is going to be a lot quicker for me, and it does a pretty good job. So here we go. I'm going to drop it right in the middle. I'm going to take our lead and connect it. We're already seeing some pretty good action. My little pad here is just about gone. It's mainly just a sponge at this point. We don't want to change the surface at all. We just want to get the gunk off. So this little thing here is going to be going back in the electrolysis tank. So here we go. We're going to be sticking it back in the electrolysis tank, and I'm just going to hang it on that little hook. I'm not going to worry about putting a really good tight connection. We'll turn it on for, I'm going to set it for 135 minutes. We'll come out here and check it. And after we come out here and check it, then we'll take a look at our other little skillets. We may put them in there just for, oh, they're starting to look pretty good. Yeah, our others just need to be cleaned. They don't have any problems. Just that one piece right there. And you see she's boiling really good. Now that I have all that gunk off of there, it's really putting out some electricity. So hopefully it'll go really fast now. Hopefully by the end of this 135-minute cycle, which is the longest cycle I have without putting it on hold, it'll be plenty. First of all, you can pretty much tell that this sink has had plenty of action. So we're going to work on it with the SOS pad just a little. And actually, I don't support any kind of metal tools on cast iron whatsoever. The only metal tool that I would ever consider using on cast iron is an SOS pad. And even then, only when it's wet. I wouldn't even want to use it dry. Usually it doesn't take this much work. But this one here was pretty bad. So we're just going to get it rough dry. Because we're kind of working against time right here. Because cast iron is going to try to revert to its base element, which is basically rust. So we got so far, and we're going to go with a little bit of Buzzy. I'm going to put a layer on it, even though it's still have a little more, it still might have a little moisture. I'm going to put a coat of Buzzy on it to kind of get us started. That'll keep the flash rust down to a minimum or hopefully none at all. And I'm not going to be so worried about how much I put on it. I'm just going to make sure that I put on enough, because I'm going to warm these up in the oven till I know they're dry. Well, this one here was pitted pretty bad, so it's taking just a little more effort to get a coating on it. After your cloth gets infused, it goes a little better. Just to let you know, this is not our seasoning coat. This is just to keep it from getting rusted. So a lot of this is not real pretty. If you season over rust, you'll have problems from now on. And you'll think, why is my cast iron not getting black? It's just getting brown. Now I like to use shop cloths here, because if you were using a regular paper towel, it would just disintegrate. And you would have pieces of paper towel all over your cast iron. Okay, we're going to take a quick look. Here is our BSR Made in USA number 3. And here is our 3-notch Lodge number 3 SK. Notice they're shiny because they got a lot of Buzzy wax on them. Another Made in USA SK 3-notch Lodge. Here's a 3-notch Lodge, a little bit older. A Made in USA Century Series Birmingham Stove and Range. I'm going to make sure, and I still got oil on my fingers. And then this little pitted 3-notch number 3 Lodge that's had a rough life up until now. We're going to put these in the oven to about 300 degrees, and we're going to take them out after that, and we're going to wipe them down with a fresh, clean cloth and put another layer of Buzzy wax on them, a nice clean layer. Right now we just want to get them warm and get them dry and get them clean. Okay, I've got them out of the oven, and they're probably somewhere between 250 and 300 degrees. And right now I'm going to wipe them down really good with a fresh, clean rag, because I know they're dry, but I want to make sure they're clean. See, it's a little dirty, or where I washed them earlier and just basically threw the oil on them to keep down surface rust. So I'm going to wipe them off really good with a clean rag. Here we go. This is my choice of cast iron seasoning, Buzzy Wax. You can use other oils. I personally like this because it uses a high smoke point oil, which is grapeseed oil, and I'm a big fan of grapeseed oil. I'm going to soak them really good in this Buzzy Wax for the first time. Make sure they're shiny all over. I'm going to wipe it off before I put it in the oven, but I want to make sure I got a good coating of Buzzy. To start with, especially this one that's pitted really bad. I want to make sure the Buzzy Wax gets down in every little pit, nook and cranny. Because it's going to soak it in. I'm going to be a little more liberal than usual with this pitted piece. Still going to wipe it off, but we're going to start off with a good thick coating. The pieces that are rough seem to take a little more than the smooth pieces. And even with a shop towel, the more you rub, they're eventually going to wear down and start leaving lint. So I keep working to a clean spot on my cloth so I can ensure that I don't leave little bits and pieces of lint. Even the lint-free cloths will give you some lint after you rub a piece of rough cast iron. Okay, we're going to get a new cloth and we're going to go back through these and we're going to wipe them down as if we're trying to remove all the oil. The problem with seasoning cast iron is people usually leave too much on. And if you coat it completely with your seasoning oil, which I'm using Buzzy Wax, if you coat it completely, you can't wipe it all off. It will not wipe away. There's still going to be seasoning oil there. Even if you don't see it shiny, it's there. It's just on a microscopic level. And actually, that's what we want, a microscopic level. Because this happens on the molecular level. What happens is the oil breaks down once you get it past the smoke point. It breaks down and it's not oil anymore. It becomes smoke and a polymer. The smoke basically just smokes away, and what's left polymerizes onto the surface of the cast iron. That's what gives you your great seasoning. Just a word, I've heard people say that cast iron is porous, and I've heard people say cast iron isn't porous. Cast iron is not porous, but it has a rough surface texture on a microscopic level. So the oil has something to adhere to. And they'll say that when cast iron gets hot, the pores open up. That doesn't really happen. I wouldn't be surprised. You know, cast iron does expand a little bit with heat, but I don't believe it's enough to make any kind of difference at all. I think what happens when you get it hot, the oil, when it's heated up, it gets warm enough to where it thins out to the point where it can fill in those little microscopic inconsistencies in the surface. And then when it polymerizes, it's connected. And I think that's what happens. That's what takes place with the cast iron. So we're going to put these in the oven, upside down, and we're going to put them on 500 degrees. And we're going to leave them in there for 1 hour and let them cool down. So we'll come back and take them out then. Okay, we got them out this morning. I let them sit in the oven and cool overnight. And they're looking pretty good for the first coat. Of course, these have some issues, but they're still going to turn out pretty good. This little number 3, this little 3-notch lodge. This little 3-notch lodge is probably going to be the better looking one of the bunch. It doesn't have any pitting or any issues. It's going to be a nice little skillet. I guess the next one up on the list will be this 3-notch lodge made in USA SK. It looks pretty much perfect as well. This Birmingham Stove and Range made in USA Century Series has got, you know, some roughness. Looks like it's been in some water. The surface looks pretty good. Got a little chip here. Looks okay. It looks pretty good. This other Birmingham Stove and Range made in USA Century Series, it looks just about as good. Pretty much, actually it's probably a little better than the last one. It's probably number 3. That other one was number 4. This one here has some pitting, but it's going to come out pretty good. It's a unmarked lodge, number 3 SK. Probably the worst looking one of the bunch is this one here. It's pitted really bad, and it feels rough. Actually, the outside maybe looks a little better than the inside, but it's a little smooth, but it looks rough. This one's pitted quite a bit. So we're going to bring them back up to 300 degrees, put some more Beezy wax on them. We'll check it out when they come out of the oven. Okay, we have 2 rounds of Beezy wax on them, and they're starting to look really good. The best one by far is going to be this Number 3, it's got a little bit of a splotchiness, but I believe that'll go away. So here we have it. We're going to go ahead and heat these up and put them back in the oven for another round. Okay, we have our third layer on there, and this little lodge is turning out to be pretty much done. One more layer is probably going to make it blacker. Still curious about this scrawled in 3. The next one is done really good. It's basically ready. At 3 layers is looking pretty good for one that's pitted. We're going to go ahead and put another layer on these and see what it looks like. Okay, I've got them out of the oven, and it seems my little lodge has turned out great. And my other little lodge is looking really good too. And I guess it goes downhill from there. And it has a lot to do, I suppose, with the quality of the cast iron and what it's been through. My little Birmingham stove and range looks good. Has a little bit of splotchiness. I may have been a little heavier than I needed to be on the seasoning because my cloth got pretty infused, and it seemed like I wasn't able to dry it as well. But this little number 3 here, the one that I have thought that may have been through a lot of hardship with all the pitting, it doesn't seem to want to take the seasoning too well. I'm not really sure why. I'm going to keep layering it on just to see what happens. So I'm going to put on another layer and see how it turns out. We'll check back after we get it out of the oven again. Okay, we got our skillets out. And like I said before, this in here is probably the worst one of the whole lot. I had to put a couple extra layers on this in here because it was in such bad shape. It kept wanting to show up splotchy. The outside wasn't as bad as the inside, so I'm thinking it probably sat full of water for a while. The second up on the list has a few little splotches to it, but it's a BSR made in USA, and it's got a really rough, almost like it was shifted in the mold on one side, but it's still going to be a good little user. It's nice and slick. The next one, as far as quality, is this other little BSR. Inside, the quality is about the same, except for this roughness on this one on the left. But they turned out really good. This one has still a little bit of splotchiness in there, and I think after I use it a few times, that'll pretty much go away. And here's our little number 3 that's looks like a scrawled. If I can get the light on it just right. Scrawled number 3. And it actually has one of the best, slickest insides of the whole bunch. And then this little number 3 SK Made in USA Lodge is absolutely perfect. I've enjoyed taking care of these little pieces. Now, some of them have really seen some hardships, but thankfully they're going to be put back in service and they're going to be loved on once again. And that's really what I love about cast iron. Take a little bit of history, we grab a hold to it, and we take care of it, we cherish it, and we pass it along to the next generation. So maybe these little babies right here will have a chance to be passed on to my kids. I just want to say, if you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more, the best way to support my channel is to subscribe, like, and share. Really simple. 1, 2, 3. Subscribe, like, and share. If you do, I very much would appreciate it. Also, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be informed of new videos when they come out. So thanks again for watching the Cast Iron Cookware channel.